welcome back to the aftermath of the shortest fight ever. This was totally Mike Tyson taking on.
Yeah, we're going to get an email from Luke Crane telling us everything we did wrong. It turns out that 8 successes means that Ernest stubbed his toe and impaled himself.
My mace was so powerful that it hit his leg, it bounced back and hit me in the head, and I knocked myself.
Yeah, that's what's
no. There was one screw up that I saw. Since Jefferson started in defensive stance, his first strike shouldn't have been as powerful, but it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, it got negated. I didn't even. Heck, my armor didn't even get scratched. I didn't roll any ones.
Did you apply Ernest's +1 ob for not having advantage?
No, because I got advantage.
But do you get advantage when at the start of taking the action before you roll, or at the end after you roll to knock him down?
So advantage was sort of like a ball that you'll juggle back and forth with the person you're fighting.
Right.
When between exchanges is when you roll to see who gets advantage again.
Right.
It's sort of like you come together for blows, you back off, and then you catch your breath and do it again. So I had advantage at that point.
I have to say, though, just listening to this, I was completely confused the whole time. This made nothing clear to me at all.
It makes sense to me having read it.
Anyone else listening to this is still confused, you're not alone.
Yeah. Basically, you get it if you read the entirety of the fight things, and all of the weapons and shield things, and all of the... Yeah. You have to read 3 or 4 chapters to get it.
I'm gonna stick to helping with my stuff.
See, what worries me though is fight is not just for 2 people champions going at it. You can have frickin' 20 people in a fight.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah,
that's why traditionally
it can be all the PCs versus 10 orcs. And holy crap!
If orcs are as strong, as big, and if they're Warcraft orcs, so they're huge and hulking with power 8 by default.
I think that was one thing Burning Wheel actually said is not really good at doing is
mass combat,
party versus party,
mass combat, small squad combat.
Yeah.
I mean, if
you could sort of do maybe 2 or 3 versus 2 or 3, but that's about it.
Yeah, but you've also got if there's 2 or 3 melee orcs and there's still guys orcs firing arrows.
See, that's range and cover. That's a different system.
No, it's not, because there's shooting and throwing actions for this.
Fight, range and cover. Fight includes arrows and stuff, and magic, and social to a bit.
It depends what's more important. If the guys are close together and it's a large army, then it's fun. Yeah, but
I thought that arrows
and no one's trying to actually engage, then it's range and cover.
Yeah. If it is only range, then range and cover. If there's range and melee, then fight.
I thought the arrows and stuff was for positioning stuff, or to make sure people aren't going to certain places.
There are close rules and melee attacks in range and cover. So I think it's just what's more important.
Yeah, well, the shooting actions in fight end up being
really crappy.
Well, put it this way: if it was 4 melee guys going after a bunch of archers, the archers would have to take multiple actions to pull their arrow, reload their crossbow, whatever. And by the time they fired off 2 shots, they will be overwhelmed and killed. But
in addition, with the regular fight rules, if you're against someone who's using a bow and you're in melee, you have a huge advantage.
I would guess that if you were a missile user in a fight, your goal would be to escape the fight and then start a range and cover attack.
That is...
Yeah, basically you disengage when you do your positioning and then re-engage at the end of the next volley when you have your arrows knocked and ready.
Fight is actually very interesting because while it seems like this large... It is designed for squads of people. Each volley and exchange is between 2 people, one and another. So you will have multiple volleys and exchanges going on throughout the thing, which is where it gets exponentially more complicated. So you would have this screen that we're looking at. There'd be 1 per player if all of them were engaged.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but like my experience has been in RPGs. You got basically two combat systems. You got the wargaming combat system, where like everyone has like one attack and some HP, and then you have the dueling combat system, which is like has like multiple attacks and you have special actions and all that. And like the two systems never seem to work together. Like if you have a simple roll and HP system, then you can't really use that for duels. It's boring. And if you have the more complicated system, then as soon as you get the third party in there, it all falls apart.
It's all about the streamlining. Yeah, it's when do complications stop? When do those details stop being fun and start being boring and time wasting?
Yeah.
And that's why there are like 3 or 4 different types of conflict resolution systems in Burning Wheels. Like, choose one that works.
I think like there really is room in role-playing games to like advance the technology of 3-person fighting rules.
Well, there are 2-on-1 rules as well for fight.
Oh, sure. Well,
like
but I mean, like,
does
like 3
an entirely new way of system, like specifically designed for 3 parties that aren't ganging up against one guy.
Interesting.
So you're talking about the Battle of the Five Armies rules.
Sure.
Like you've got
or like
multiple people.
Yeah. Well, I played Exalted. I played
like sort of the Mexican standoff where everyone has a gun in each hand, pointing them at each other.
Right.
And then it's who wins that.
Because like think about Magic the Gathering, right? Like they have the commander rules now, where you have like 3 people fighting, and it's always like one guy is the spoiler.
What seems interesting in the example I described with like everyone pointing guns at each other, you could split your dice. Like it seems to me that you would then be able to split your dice between whoever you're pointing your guns at. And if you were using a Burning Wheel-esque system, if you roll more successes than the person who was pointing the gun at you back, of course, as they often are, then if you shoot, they won't shoot back. But if you put a lot of dice into that one, then where your other gun's pointed, they might have the advantage on you.
Well, Burning Wheel has 2-weapon fighting skill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the way they do it just split your dice pool between 2 hands?
Normally it's one attack. Normally you'll go in with like a parrying blade, and it'll function like a shield.
Like a shield, yeah.
But if you're fighting 2 people at the same time, if it's a 2-on-1 fight and you're the one, there are specific rules for that, and I didn't go over them as well because it wasn't going to be the situation tonight.
Right.
But I know it's here somewhere.
Well, just the whole 2-gun thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyways, I think we're going to get off topic because that was just we were talking about a system that does mass combat, like just sort of group combat well, but also detailed.
It's hard. I think that's the real advantage of video games
because they handle all the math themselves.
Okay, so in Burning Wheel for a 2-on-1 fight, all actions go against a specific opponent. You don't divide anything. Okay. You name your target. And the only exception to that is if you script a void. Avoid successes count against all incoming actions.
Oh, nice.
But it doesn't have to split. It counts against both. It's just...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's always that full defense action.
Basically, that's
all right. So, like, you killed this guy honorably in single combat.
Yeah,
probably this moment everyone's just staring. Just their side.
Even Edwin is like, I guess he's going to not get fired because that was pretty incredible.
Raises his hand, raises his mace, his bloodied mace up into the air, silently.
Yeah. All is deathly silent as everyone's just standing in shock as the fight is over as quickly as it began. Ernest raises his mace, and from atop the battlements you hear a very high-pitched scream of "No!" And then, like, the Swords of the Phoenix all start cheering.
Yeah, cheer! Woo! Ernest. Ernest, fuck.
Yeah, and the commanders of the army begin to move forward to down toward where the duel was.
Okay.
I think Matcham stays up on his like observation perch and is just kind of like, huh.
Maybe I shouldn't fuck with that guy.
Just like you entertain Eddie in your mind, and like, nah, I'll keep doing it.
So yeah, what do you?
Down there too, like.
Yeah, it's probably it's
like shake Ernest's hand, like give him the wraparound hug. Good job,
exactly.
Ernest.
It's the winning the football game at the last minute type thing.
The I punch your armor and like try not to regret
it. Damn it! Ow! Shit.
There's probably still like armor polish on the steel.
Oh, nice.
Barely been touched. So you have now grease all over your hand.
Oh, he's probably wearing like Edwin doesn't know how to wear armor, but this is like a battlefield situation. He's probably like wearing some light padded armor, so like he has a glove when he punches you or something.
Yeah, and then there's like stains on it. It's like stains.
Yeah, it becomes stained. Like all the bright colors are like now dulled.
All right, so yeah, the expected thing to happen at this point is that the portcullis gate would open and allow you entry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you what you're doing at this point, but that would be your expectation of what happens next.
It's like Edwin is like gathering his troops. So. It's like, well, Ernest, you've been commanding these men.
That I have.
We need to take this city as peacefully as possible. But, of course, the Duchess is known for her outbursts.
That she is.
How do you want to take this?
Considering how she reacted when Jefferson Marwick died.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone recognize that name?
I don't think I've mentioned him to you.
Okay, like so he knows your commander was an asshole, but he doesn't know who he is. Okay.
Actually, you might, because until I was with the army, I still keep in correspondence with him. For Ernest is sort of a way just keep in touch, and so that he always knows where he is when he wants to find him and kill him.
So Edwin might recognize the name from one of the letters.
So exactly, because I can't read. So either of you or someone else write letters
or read letters you get back from him, I guess.
Exactly. So I think you might know the name.
So Edwin's like, Malkovich, isn't that your Markovich? What? Marwick, sorry. I'm confusing him with another NPC.
Okay.
Marwick, isn't that your old commander?
Yes, that was his brother. And a much worse fighter at that.
You know you didn't have to kill him.
I know I didn't have to, but I can't put someone in chains myself.
I understand.
If it's someone like your father.
Well, my father is an honorable man, but this is probably for the best. Now there's no question at all of who the victor is.
Not even one bit.
Okay. Just like Edwin will get his troops lined up.
Yeah. I think Ernest probably goes to find what's the guy in charge of the Knights of the Sword of the Phoenix's name again?
Wiggins?
You're muted, Zen.
Yeah, Field Marshal Wiggins.
Okay, I go to find Wiggins. Alright. Tell the men, spread the word. We're supposed to take this city peacefully. If they do what they should, then we will. If not, then in the eyes of all the nobles of Terminugnia, they forfeit their right to rule, and we enforce that.
Yeah, he nods curtly at you. How would you like to proceed into the city?
For now, we wait. At most for an hour. Then, we go by force. And if that is the case, then I need to consult with people with regards to how we do that. So, I think Ernest, sort of dismisses him, and he wants to talk to the, commander, the general, not Wiggins, but the sergeant.
Oh, yeah, what the hell was his name?
And then he gets, Matrim and, Edwin, people like that.
I thought he stayed back in Path Askew.
Edwin, are you here? I thought you were
here.
No,
the sergeant watch guy.
Yeah.
Oh, not him. Not him. It was
the Swords of the Phoenix guy, the one he was talking to before.
So the guy under Wiggins, basically.
Yeah.
Directly under.
I have his name written down somewhere, but there's so much shit here right now.
Did you randomly generate his name?
I don't think I did. No.
We got a Yegor, Vilma.
No, he was British. It started with a T.
Teague.
Yeah,
Teague. That's what it was.
Wrote it down.
I get him, and we probably gathered together in the same tent we gathered in for a while. I'm still wearing my armor. I don't think I have my mace. I think it's off being polished. Be cleaned.
Get the blood off this, will you?
And yeah, so I think we're gathered together. Lord Edwin, should I send someone to get all of the diplomats that are visiting? Maybe some of them have visited this town. Maybe they can tell something of it.
We probably shouldn't interrogate the other nobles.
Interrogate? I was going to summon them to this meeting.
Alright, you can do that. As long as they're treated with respect,
Yes. Okay, then I do that. I grab soldiers to go to... There's probably one tent where all of them are staying. They're probably still there, discussing the battle and theorizing about why it was so short. Actually, I'll be right back. I look off into the distance. Is Jefferson Marwick's corpse still there?
Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask you, what you planned on doing with that.
It just occurred to me. It probably just occurred to Ernest because he was in shock and then people came running. I still have my shield on me. So
broken and ruined bodies.
I have my shield with me, so I want to walk up to it.
Is it time for ditch digging again?
Maybe. But for now, I think I simply walk towards it, pick it up, and carry it back to the camp. Does anyone respond as I do that? From either from the roof or from the walls or from the.
If you look up at the walls, you see several what appear to be archers still standing there, but
okay.
That's about it. They're not knocking arrows or anything at you.
I think that, ask Ernest, do you want to have a funeral pyre for this guy?
So this is still back with the scene as I just picked up his corpse. I see the archers, and still holding it. I just yell out to these guys. This man who was not from here died for you. This did not need to happen. Please open the gates so that more death does not need to happen.
Okay, they're kind of just still standing there.
Okay. Ernest turns. Yeah, then he walks back with the corpse in hand. In response to Lord Edwin's question when he arrives, I think he says, "Yeah, let's do that."
Okay, well, let's do it in the city. Just like put him on the table over there. We'll bring him into the city, like on a pellet, like a hero, and we'll have his honorable funeral.
Very well. I'll meet you back in the tent for a minute. In a minute. I think that Ernest then goes to like a battlefield mortician. I'm sure they are there. Probably not experienced in matters more than bury the wounded. So I think that it's...
Yeah, that's more like the dregs of the army that just buries people.
Exactly.
It's not like a profession or anything. It's just.
So I think actually what he goes to the medic.
How do you find these people, Ernest?
Well, he's not going to. There are battlefield medics around.
There are.
Do we not have battlefield medics?
Do we?
I mean,
I think he's suggesting a circles check.
Yeah, they can be found, certainly.
Okay. I don't see why this is a big deal, because I plan to just go there and leave him there.
It's not a big deal. It's just whether you could find it or not.
What's the ob? I'm guessing ob would be minimal since it's 5 minutes away.
Yeah, it'd be because yes, that they exist. It would be ob 1.
Okay.
Because I mean, if they are here, they are definitely here, right here and now. They're within your circles. You know, there is no ob penalty to find it.
It's just like you were almost explicitly stating a circle's intent.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I get any narrative advantages? I guess could I get a +1 because there's almost no fighting or wounded, which means it should be fairly easy to find them and they wouldn't be overworked.
Yeah, they're not busy.
Yeah. Exactly. They're not exactly busy.
Yeah, I would actually expect that, someone would be close by to, expecting one of you to have died. Oh my God, you didn't find anybody.
So that
actually, no, you do. You do.
Okay, I do, and he's passed out drunk.
Definitely do. And he you see one standing there. Proceed.
Okay. So I'm still holding this guy's corpse. I walk up to him. I walk into his tent or something. I say, "Please, I need you to sew up this man's leg. Make him presentable, please." I look him in the eye. This man is not to be buried.
I don't see why I should be doing anything for a damn continental. You don't order me around. You're not the end-all, be-all captain of this army. You want something done? Tell Wiggins to tell me. Otherwise, I ain't doing crap.
I consider arguing with him. I just shrug and I go off to tell Wiggins to tell him, actually. I'm like, whatever, sure, I'm not even bothered. I just killed a guy. I'm on a high right now, so I don't need to.
I'm on a murder high.
That's creepy.
So, yeah.
Yes, the grizzled, old, haggard battlefield medic, more of a sawbones.
Crap.
Yeah, doesn't want anything to do with you, Ernest.
This guy's a continental as well. Okay, I don't want that guy.
No, Marwick is, yes.
Jefferson is a continental. I'm not having that guy touch him.
No, the mortician isn't. No,
mortician is not. Jefferson is a continental as well.
Jefferson, yes.
However, while I initially wasn't going to have a medic who hates continentals be making a continental look nice, he doesn't know he's a continental because he's dead and therefore cannot talk. And I'm the only one. Yes, but I'm simply saying if I tell Wiggins to tell him,
right,
he won't hate continentals. He won't be enacting on his hate of continentals even more because he's also working on a continental.
Right.
So I will do just that. I will tell Williams to tell him.
Make a note that when you go back to find the body, it is stripped clean.
Okay.
The armor's gone. He's naked. Like,
okay.
This guy just took everything off the body.
So we'll get back to that later because I do want to address that. Okay, so we're in the meeting tent. All of the representatives of the various nations are here. I think Ernest, just still running off of the endorphins from the fight, is just taking charge of the situation. So when he walks in and everyone's there, he says, he begins the meeting by saying, "All right," and I just want to check this is true. Did they lower the portcullis?
Not yet, but the gate has not been approached by anyone.
Okay. So I say, all right. So, if Bryansk does not lower the portcullis, because they might not, what should we do?
Edwin says, I have a plan for that, but I think we should just get our men together and advance on the city and hope that they honor the results of the duel.
Very well.
What I'd like to know from everybody here is, what is the most safest way for the city to occupy it? Do we know the basic land of the city? Do we know what districts they have? What areas we should control to make sure that the citizens don't decide to loot and burn the city to the ground?
I look to the people of the representatives of the various nobles and say, I follow up on Edwin's question. I don't know any of their names, so I just say, you all are very knowledgeable, esteemed men. Have you any advice on how to proceed with diplomatic acquisition?
Let's see. One of the envoys from Zavadgorod steps forward. Give him a name here. Pavel.
Pavel. Okay.
Yes. And he says, "You've won this fight. The city shouldn't, by traditional law, the city should not offer any resistance at this point. If they do, first of all, they're going to have a lot more problems than just you guys. I mean, the rest of the counties will back you up in whatever you have to do after that."
Edwin nods gratefully.
He says, "If it turns ugly once you get inside the walls, the city's pretty well fortified, but I mean, once you get past the walls, it's pretty much the road that goes in through this portcullis through the east here leads directly to city center, which is where the Duchess's palace is, or manor is."
Okay.
She doesn't even have her own palace. She's stuck with a manor.
But she's a duchess. It's just a county seat. It's not like.
I thought it was the capital.
It's a nice manor.
I saw the pictures. It's really nice. All right, so yeah, let's advance. We'll take the Duchess into custody, and we'll move on from there.
Yes. I have another question, though. You did mention that the people are, by law, they will fall in line, but how... I want to make them as comfortable with this as possible. Maybe it's just me, but I'm feeling nice today.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning, we'll go and we'll have a giant bonfire in the center of town, and have a feast. and we'll tear down all the war barricades and all the fortifications, no doubt, inside the city, and we'll just see if we can work through the existing, administration and police, at least for now.
Yeah, Pavel turns to Ernest and he says, put yourself in the shoes of the people inside that city. There's been an army camped outside their door for how long, a month now? And now they're just rolling in. There's not a lot you're going to do to placate them other than not start butchering them. Like show them your honor, and hopefully they will respond in kind. But don't be surprised if, old ladies start throwing, rotten fruit at you as you come through. That's a thing. Yeah.
Yep, making sure the army discipline is ready is important.
Yeah, especially of one, man. And we flash cut to Matron.
You probably started napping halfway through this meeting.
Okay. Yeah. So
he's not interested in this at all. You Islanders and your concept of ownership is bizarre. It's not a boat. They do what they want.
Yeah. Pavel then says something to the effect of, although once you get inside, you are entitled to ownership of whatever is inside, and, you're going to take what you're going to take. and maybe that provokes a reaction from Major.
Yeah. So Major like, huh?
Loot? What?
Did someone
money?
mention taking stuff?
I mean, the city is ours. We're not.
Yeah.
Where we want to put a whole city. The city is going to stay where it is.
With us having looted a lot of towns, what is Matron wearing?
It's probably the same basic stuff.
Okay. So you don't keep anything for yourself. You sell it all.
Is a hoarder.
It was all for the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not about the flash. He if the tax assessor comes around, he doesn't want to pay more, so he just hides all his wealth.
Good thinking. Okay. Well, in that case, then I think we should gather the men.
All right.
Have them get ready to go.
Okay.
So are you leading the entire army inside, or just a delegation, or?
I would say most of the army.
I would say that a delegation is going to enter, but the entire army will be it will be like a distance from the walls. Everyone will be there and in formation, but only the delegation will enter.
Okay.
So it's an act of diplomacy, but also you really better accept this.
I think, I'm going to stay back and maybe have a nice conversation with Commander Wiggins with the rest of the army while you guys go into the hostile town in front of us.
That's fine.
That sounds like a good idea to me. I think I'll just, stay put and make sure everything's here.
You do that.
Okay. So you're not going to deploy your forces within the city then?
We have forces within the city?
I think we should bring in half the forces at least.
If you bring the army inside, you could deploy them around the city and maintain order that way.
Well, I think, when I say they're in formation, I think they're deployed as a just-in-case thing.
Because one thing that would occur to you is that, standing on top of those walls, you can fire out a long way. You can also fire in a long way.
Among the townsfolk? Okay.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I think we bring in half of the forces outside, so one of the infantry units and one of the archer units.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that way...
And get rid of these, because...
Does Ernest faintly remember Lord Edwayne's conversation about the distinction between nobility and peasants? The whole firing in, and that was Edwayne, not this Natalia Duchess.
Yeah, that's true.
And the main reason I would want so many troops is just to make sure that the current army is disarmed.
I see horses here.
Yep, I sent them over there because there was the Strange Rider. And Edwin is not the best with battlefield tactics, so he just sent them.
Are they back right now? Because you said some of them are.
They should come back. I said for them to come back at dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're probably on their way. Right. They're probably on their way back. They're a day away, and this early in the day, like noon.
Okay. What was the other thing I was going to say? Yes.
Well, so that fight ended pretty quick. It's probably like 10:30.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
All this just after breakfast.
I go back for the corpse of Jefferson.
Okay.
I open the tent flap. It's just like an abandoned tent, single table, naked corpse.
Yep. Yeah. There's nobody there. He's stripped down to nothing.
I immediately close the flap and go to Wiggins and say, Mr. Wiggins, do you know that man that I asked you to give the corpse the order to clean up the corpse for Miss? Yeah, you know him? The medic?
He's like, yeah, just some guy that we have tend to the corpses. Sure.
Can you find him for me, please? Is that okay?
Yeah, he'll send a couple guys to go find him. If he's like,
okay.
Well, he wants to know why, like what happened.
I'll show you. Come with me, and I show him.
Okay. Yeah, Wiggins gets a little red in the face. Like you can see, like his big walrus mustache starting like. And he cups himself up a little bit.
I think Matchroom followed, and he's having a good laugh right now.
Yeah, you see,
he's just like, it's still there.
What's
wrong?
Someone just earned latrine duty, huh?
You see, I meant to present his corpse back to the Duchess as a gesture of goodwill. She seemed to care deeply about this man. Now we see him like this. I'd like to have him with his armor on.
Wiggins says, well, I'm sure we could find armor that fits him if you want to bring him in now.
That will be the second resort. Firstly, I'd like to find his armor.
Okay.
I was going to have the blood cleaned. Maybe it's already been. So what happens?
So, give me 1 second. I am going to roll a thing.
Things are being rolled.
Do they have?
Let us invoke the holy.
What would the ob for this be?
Or skills. I don't know.
Well, I guess it'll just be a perception roll, anyways. Say, 3.
What are you trying to do?
Find the guy.
GM secrets.
I don't suppose this guy has any fate, does he?
The soldiers the unnamed soldiers that you went to that you sent to find him. No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's nowhere to be found.
Very well. Wiggins, you know this stuff better than I. Do you mind making sure this guy is presentable to someone at, the Duchess of Bryansk? Is that okay?
Yeah. He orders some men to find, a decent set of armor as close. He was just wearing heavy mail, so that's a thing they can find.
And
his shield, however, there was some emblazoning on that. That's not going to be doable.
A shield and a sword probably is given to him. She would recognize the difference, but most, the general townsfolk probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we've probably gathered many Bryansk shields, so we probably have some of those around during our fighting. So we probably put one that at least has a Bryansk coat of arms, maybe not the same one, but it's a Bryansk shield.
Okay. So yeah, you bear him aloft in some honorable manner. I would suppose.
Yes,
sure.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you put him on a stretcher, and you got 4 guys carrying it. And
yeah,
that's a procession.
He's in a funeral casket. Yeah. And,
just 4 random guys or 4 specific guys?
I mean, soldiers. Like
Ernest is one of them. He has his armor.
I mean, like, in something like this, if you were going to do something honorably and with ceremony, you'd have people in like polished armor or like, very fancy armor doing this as an honor guard for the fallen kind of thing.
I think Ernest is walking right in front of it. He's not carrying it himself.
Okay, so yeah, we need like, I don't know. I guess we're gonna try to see if we have an honor guard for him. I guess that's another circles.
Yeah,
check?
if you.
It's just shiny armor, but I don't know.
Like Edwin doesn't have any ability to help in this situation.
I think that I specifically tell Teague that I want him to stay back outside in case things do go sour, that not all of our leadership is in here. I invite the nobles to come with us.
They politely decline.
Okay.
They do send someone with you. He's not a noble. He's an observer.
Okay.
He's got wearing a chain around him. It basically, like, Edwin would know that this thing symbolizes that, like, he is the observer of the duel and everything else, and basically no one screws with him.
He has like the big red shirt on. No, he has the big no red shirt was it's like the medic in warfare that used. So that sort of marking.
The medic in what game?
In warfare, like in
okay, I see. All right.
Honorably, you don't shoot the medic.
That's the Red Cross equivalent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
right.
So yeah, we walk up towards the gate.
Okay. You have a specific intention with bringing him in honorably and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see how well that goes. These guys might drop him.
They're soldiers. They're tough. Give them at least a 5.
What do they roll? Hauling?
Soldier. Or just power?
It could be. I mean, it could be an etiquette roll, like Sith was saying in chat there.
I feel like it's not like they're going to just drop him, but maybe like if something untoward happens in the city, like they start getting pelted with tomatoes, like then there would be a chance of them dropping him.
Okay. So would the etiquette be theirs, or would it be like someone else's to tell them what to do?
It's.
Well, I guess with the etiquette thing, I was saying it seems like Ernest is trying to take point here rather than Lord Edwin with like the ritualistic returning of the body and everything. And so like this is like a whole noble duel, so like it seems like there would be some sort of structure here, and being able to navigate that in such a hostile environment would probably have some structure to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if our characters know it.
I think Edwin definitely does not know it. I think like if they just use soldiering, like soldiering covers like routine stuff like marching in order.
I think this would be a skill of using one. Sorry, this would be a situation of using one skill for an intent that isn't obvious, like in the example of the book, using swords to impress the king. This would be using soldiering to keep everything in order. I would like to help them with soldier-wise, so I pick soldiers that are good at that.
I think they'll be helping you rather because it's your intent that this happens.
That is true.
Like that's what makes the roll yours.
Okay. So what do I roll?
I'll
just be rolling soldier-wise. If we're picking the soldiers, that'll be best for that.
Yeah, you could be rolling soldiering and with them helping you. You could fork in soldier-wise. This is probably a thing that, bearing aloft the hero, the fallen hero is probably a ritual that...
Is this a bunch of forts, or is this a a linked test of like finding people and then caravanning into town, making sure everyone's calm, and then like presenting. Is that all together? Because like, I guess when I was thinking etiquette, I was thinking like one big thing, but you're talking about a very specific part at the beginning.
I think a link test makes
kind of like the difference between like
makes sense
sneaking all the way into a tower, or getting to the tower and then sneaking up the tower and then sneaking into the sorcerer's room.
I think a link test makes sense.
Okay.
So I would start with soldier-wise to find soldiers, or would it be circles? No, because soldier-wise
you can. In a circles test, you can link test appropriate wises into the circles test. So if you wanted to soldier-wise and then circles,
I'll do that.
The 4 guys up.
What would the ob be?
For wises, you can never find this.
For circles, for finding some soldiers that.
I think circles would be 2. Because they're lower ranked than you.
They are, yeah.
Yep.
What would make it up from a 1? Because I don't know much about circles at all.
The rank. If you try to find someone below your station, it's an increased ob.
Oh, I didn't know that. If they're equal station to me, it's the same?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you wanted to game the system, if we're doing this the gamist way, you go find some officers.
Yes, it would be physically easier for me to. It would be in narrative. It would be easier for me to find them.
It makes sense to make it officers.
I will actually go find some officers because I want to come in with like the people who are not just regular foot soldiers. The officers probably know how to fight a bit better, and B know how to have a higher steel. I'm just gonna say it.
And like probably carrying this guy
I'm just gonna say it.
It's kind of an honor for them. So like you're choosing guys who deserve the honor and recognition of carrying this champion.
Okay, so that would lower to ob 1. Anything? Yes, 1.
Okay. So yes, you have your 4 men.
Next is the actual marching themselves, which would be a soldiering test.
Yeah, and you are leading them in this, and while they're actually like pulling the body, I'm
still marching,
setting the example basically. So,
so can't remember. Can I fork soldier wise in this? Like, can I fork something that was already used in a link test?
Did you already use? You didn't even use
soldier wise in circles.
Oh no, you link for circles.
You don't fork at all for link tests?
No.
Circles.
How a circles roll works, if you want to use wises, you do a link test for the wise, and that'll give you a +1 to the circle if you pass the wise test.
It doesn't matter anyway. The success was on the first die.
Yeah, I failed from the. Okay. So it wouldn't have mattered, but I didn't actually know that. Okay, so you can't fork circles.
Yeah. You link test the wise and then add a +1. But since you didn't do that, technically, yes. You can fork the soldier wise.
Okay, so soldier ring. I would like to fork soldier wise and command.
Apparently, you are correct. Bling. Yes, good. Okay.
What is the ob? My intent is
for soldiering. This is
marching. Marching is obs 1
while carrying something. It includes
298.
Yeah, soldiering.
Probably
marching is ob 1. Marching while carrying something is ob 2, probably.
Right. The basic ob 1 with a
procedure, however, is ob 4.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's split the difference and say ob 3.
Okay. Okay. 5 dice ob 3. I'm more likely to fail this.
Does he get help from?
Yes, you get. I mean, you shouldn't really get 4 help.
Just 1 help was fine, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything I can help with.
Edwin, do I want any more help? Hold on a sec. Hold on. Because I'm totally gaming this. with one more thing with command, I need no, I can't get a challenging test for command.
The only thing even remotely appropriate here is symbology. Like, I don't think that makes any sense.
Okay, then I'll just go as is. So, Arthur, no obstacle.
That's not the correct skill for this.
Just barely.
Nice.
Okay.
Success.
Yes, you meet your obstacle, and yes, you successfully. Nothing bad happens while you're carrying these people inside, or this person inside, rather.
Okay, so they open the gates?
As you approach the gate, yes, the portcullis does start to lift.
All right.
Okay.
You notice the road to the center of town is lined with soldiers.
Well,
okay.
Like straight rows on each side.
I draw my mace and shield, but keep them at my side to sort of make it seem like part of the march.
Okay.
And continue walking with them. What do the soldiers look like? Are they?
Yeah. They're all standing rigidly at attention.
Okay.
Sort of standing there with their hand like on the hilt of their sword.
Yeah.
Like it looks like they could draw it at any moment.
But it's also sort of a semi-regular
salute, yeah.
Thing. Okay, cool. Then I think we pause while it opens and can see through it and see them, and then we just keep marching, I think.
Yep.
I'm gonna, keep pressing on.
So if they attack, they attack, right?
Yeah,
I did.
As you walk in, the soldier to each side unsheaths his sword. What is your gut reaction right now?
My gut reaction?
Yeah, what do you do? When you notice like a man to each side pulling their sword out, what do you do?
See, my gut reaction is to raise my shield, but I think that in this time I'm firmly suppressing that. What I think I do is wait and see, but I tense up immediately.
Okay. They pull their swords out and they're like holding them at about a 45-degree angle. And like as you pass each soldier, they keep doing the same thing. It's more of a salute thing than an overt attacking action.
Ernest has not seen this exact thing before, but he's seen similar things before when in the continent when he helped take towns. I think until now it's been from a distance. He's either watched outside of the towns when there weren't walls, so it was easier to see that, and things like that. So it's the first time he's seen it up close.
Yeah, you said there was like a delegation in the front of like the leaders and stuff. As they pass, as the last one passes, the guys with the drawn swords, they like lay them down on the ground.
Okay.
It's sort of a symbolic kind of thing. Like we honor you with our swords and then drop them as you pass.
Edwin nod gratefully at the soldiers as he passes.
Yes. I sort of side whisper to Edwin, you're gonna be the one doing the talking, right? Because I represented you.
So, yes, this is now my responsibility.
Okay. I think he feels relieved a bit. And
once we get to the
we march up to the not palace but manor. On this gleaming castle that would now be mine. That was not Ernest wanted, that is what Spencer wanted.
So you make it up to the steps of the manor. As you're passing some of these soldiers on the side of the road, you notice that a lot of them are fairly young, and a lot of them look horrendously relieved that this is how this went. But yeah, you make it up to the steps. There's two heavy oaken doors that open into the manor proper at the top of the steps.
Okay. I guess Edwin would go up to the doors and I guess he would knock.
Oh no, they like open as you.
Oh, they go in. Okay, yeah, I was
Is it
walking.
Is it large enough for everyone to enter, or is it expected that only a few of us will?
It's large enough that 4 abreast could probably walk in.
Not large enough for 4 abreast carrying a certain corpse. I think.
You could. Well, it's 2 by 2 for the stretcher, so yeah, you could carry him in through the main door.
I think we just bring in our honor guard, and the rest of the troops we brought in will take up guard positions outside the manor.
Yeah, I think that the observer comes in. So everyone goes inside, but then everyone goes up to it, and then some people just wait outside and make sure they're undisturbed.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like a phalanx of soldiers, flares out along the steps, turns, and plants their spear in front of them or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And the rest of us enter.
Okay. You as you enter the manor, we'll fade down for a commercial break.
Okay. And then the assassins will strike. All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Explodes.
Gunpowder was invented.